August 4th, the days between. I do not want to cower in the face of my responsibility. So I'm here to pour love on Mickey Hart. Mickey, unbelievable what you've brought to the team. Joseph Campbell, just bringing that to my attention, to eat up the wisdom that you've been sharing. Mickey, back in the day, because I'm learning constantly. You said the very first thing that ever happened was a sound wave. Well, I thought light was the first thing that happened. But no, Mickey's right. Because he said, let there be light. Boom. He said it first. So the mysteries, dark and vast, that I've been a scout for the team. And the comedy of growing since I was 18 with this band's mind, the Hive Mind, learning. And I've been on an odyssey, like a sailing odyssey, like Ulysses or Odysseus. And that's where they get the name Odyssey from, Odysseus. But when I get my sound doctrine and sound teaching that I learned from the greatest sound teacher I ever saw, Jerome John Garcia. Sound teaching is to say Odyssey, O-D-D-S-E-E. I've been logging all the oddifications. But I send this love video out to the Angel of Sardi. Now, because of what was that song Jerry sang? There's so many. Oh my God. And you hear them after he's passed when you find tapes and resonances of the spirit of what he was driving at. And what I was driving at, to be a student, to be a servant, to serve the spirit. We were all in a spiritual warfare, obviously. But the win is to win by losing gracefully. How's that? But the grateful trial, to be grateful in the middle of your trials. Well, anyway, back to Mickey. Mickey, you've been blowing me away. When you reminded me the last time I saw you of the fact that you loved these musicians that turned you on, and then just express it. Oh my gosh. Althea has been my problem, probably. But fine, you can find salvation, but once you get through the door and you didn't live up to what you could have done with the talents that you were given. You know, it's kind of like, oh, not really a big party, is it? So each one of us got to be the 1 in 10,000 that come for the show. So I'm going to recite my poetry to you, Nikki and Billy. Oh my God. All of, I found looking at things a certain way, as if you look at things a certain way as the song goes. And when I get confused, I listen to the music play. Literally. In a split second, I go, Lord. And then I'd hear a song, and or someone walking by, and I was listening. And see, I was trying to escape the fire, the end time fire, and I didn't understand fire, or the wind, the earth, wind, and fire, as the songwriters would be. And now that I understand the earth, wind, and fire, I want to fire up my lamp inside me, because my rock and roll musical would start with when I was young, and all my because of the chain of circumstance quality of, it's not that I did anything morally acceptable, except that I just tried to hold out for love. You know, true love. You know what I mean? But that's not the problem. Once you got love, what are you going to do with it? So the vibration of the music is something that when people write fantastic music songs and stuff, it kind of drops in from somewhere else, what we understand. So the phenomenal experience of the Grateful Dead is not only did the music drop in on them to be incredible, but they played it live, dropping it in. And that's the singularity of that is incredible, to have been able to partake in that, the food of the God chow. So, you know, when I first came to some levels of wisdom, absolutely a turn on. So where were you again, Greg? You were going back with Mickey, how he's been the tuning fork of the generation. My God, Mickey. Your symbols, SYMBOLS, behind your symbols, SYMBALS, is the term. See, in high school, I learned, I was confused about the Led Zeppelin and the Houses of the Holy. It was a confusing metaphor where words had two meanings. And the entire Renaissance of the 60s and the 70s would be that. And, you know, musicians realize that the rhythm of life is, everything's built on the sound. When you try to get to the bottom of the honey and the gold, the words of gold that have been showered upon my soul from the mystics formerly known as the warlocks, that the bus that takes you to the other side, to the behind the veil, to the death quadrant, was just the turn of events that created the random cohesive thing that is not random, or it feels like it while you're going through it, yet you know the spiritual winds, the four winds. I've been educated by men of God who taught scriptural tightness. And only because if there's no guiding force inside the greatest story ever told, I've been the beneficiary of being the hearer of the greatest story ever told. You know, and literally growing up, the greatest story ever told was the movie where you had that, you know, that Jesus trip, greatest story ever told. And then I hear this song, and see, because for me, looking for, because my friend became a passionate deadhead and I just was drawn in, as I was worried he was getting involved with some kind of crazy fucking cult. Meanwhile, I become the cult of it, wonderfully, happily riding inside the eye of the storm. And it comes back to the eye of the needle. Yeah, there's so many things that I was wrestling with, big picture items in my skull with my team, which has been the musical truths that echo inside the deal, you know? So, Vicky, I don't know, you know, if I, you know. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's this trip. I'm blowing through Madison, the Mad Sun, Maddie Sun, the Mad fucking Hatter. I'm mad I had her and I lost her, and I wanted her back, and I didn't know why I had to endure the love sickness of a broken heart, you know? It all comes back to Ruben and Charisse. I got dialed up on the radio, man. Fantastic tale of my musical called My Movie That's My Life, that Ken Kesey, the greatest wrestler that I've known in the modern day. I don't know, wrestling is such a big deal because I had to fucking endure it as a young wrestler. But just like his sons are the sons of a mighty wrestler, I'd love to hang out with the Kesey guys, the old wrestlers, and have some laughing song and start up the prankster bus. Because I am the prankster. The prank is that once you see through the, if you had Jesus said it's going to be like the days of Noah. And then I got the wake of the flood staring me in the eyeball. Mickey and Billy, I remember Phil said once that 91 was the last year we thought we could have gone all the way with it then. And that was the last year where I was on the border of cutting loose or holding the line till I knew what the hell I was talking about. So, so 91. I managed to get a couple of weeks off and go on tour and finance my house and run off on a Grateful Dead vision quest again. And I go to Jerry Plays. It's a wild ride out, fly out to Denver and catch some Dead shows, and the whole circuitry of everything that was going on around those synchronistic experiences was that we're trying to. I'm driving a Cadillac, big old Cadillac I hooked up with some boys, and we were going to try to catch the next shows after. Flew into town, stayed with a buddy for the first couple of shows, then fucking jumped on a ride with a bunch of boys going on a Cadillac down, and I'm driving through snow drifts that are like 4 or 5 feet, doing 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, blasting through. And we're trying to get down to Tempe, Arizona for the show. And we get held up, and then we pull into an airport, and there's one flight that we make it possibly on time to the show, and I wind up getting the last seat ticket somehow. The woman got me on the plane. We fly into town. We jump in the airport, jump in a cab or whatever, and we shoot to the show. We get in there, and Jerry Plays. He plays it. And I'm like, I'm not ready for the wake of the flood, bro. Oh, it bugged the fuck out of me. I guess that's what happened. And it made me fearful not to be ready for the fire flood that's coming upon the earth. And so I was like, there's something in my spirit that's freaking me out. So the next show is in San Francisco, and I get to San Francisco somehow. I don't remember how I fucking got there, but we're at the San Francisco shows, and I get a call. I'm trying to. It's the last day before. There's 2 shows left. I'm at the first show or whatever, and the next day I'm short $100. I'm trying to call my wife to say, "Hon, I need another $100 to get home." I'm fucking throwing in the bank, whatever, you know. And now I've gone off on trips with the Grateful Dead where I'm in a rubber suit coming home. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with the straitjacket on. Those are the kind of trips I've gone on tour with, coming back from. Because there was nothing that I was going to give up to not know what the fuck was going on. So, but realizing that, hey, Mickey, you and Billy are the boys, bro. The witnesses. So, while the Revelator was revelating, all of you have been revelating to me on the higher winds, the second heaven and third heaven. You want to call it quantum mechanics? You want to shift the verbiage around? Whatever. The truth of the matter is that the spirit of man and the spirit inside of me is greater than everything else, because it's based on the center of the Terrapin Station. So, as I would say to Mickey, hey Mickey, you're the angel of the Church of Sardi. And so we have to awaken that which still can walk in white. What happened was the Book of Revelation was the epic thing that I was diving headlong into with the strange visions that I was having at shows, outside of shows, days between, inside of that. And I just want to revel in the music and the musicians and the singers and the songers, the mythic carriers of the song that the whole thing's leading up to. The Song of Moses. The Songs of Solomon. Once you understand the Tolkien riddle of how in heaven Tolkien's gonna get some fucking love, bro. Holy hat. And when Mickey was reminding me of the days to come, as he does every time, which I keep forgetting my great future, because I'm stuck. You gotta be like Jerry would sing it, in the live tense. This is not normal shit, man. Just a song for Gomorrah, you know? It was in the present tense. It was uniquely Hunter-esque. The mighty Hunter. Bobby was proclaiming the Kingfisher styling of Shooting for Heaven with that whole album. Because I'm not preaching, but holy shit, bro, my shit's been blown away. I'm just trying to sing, man. Bobby would look at me, you got what you came for? You ready to go? My fucking Bobby, holy shit, man. Those Spectrum shows, holy shit, man. It was another promoting field of sound technology that was floating through the sphere. Oh my God, it was really fucking tremendously heavy. It was so heavy, I had to know really what the hell I'm talking about if I'm gonna be some kind of either a mouthpiece from hell or a legend from heaven, as my man Lowell George would tell me. Little Shakedown Street. So that's the timing I came on the bus. And Jerry assured me that this thing was not made by the hands of men, even though we were men making this fucking shit, dude. We're fucking riding fucking thunder over here, bro. Little lazy lightning. I'm like, holy shit, man. This is great. It's the most living, live, present thing that ever happened to me, man. I'm here to proclaim it. I'm gonna claim it. I have a witness about this whole thing. His name is Bob Dylan. That firing rod that he's been firing up. Big hand works by the hand of God. Little man works by the fucking firing rod. And Dylan's been firing up the fucking rod for the whole time, man. I'm just a joker man, you know? dancing by the light of the moon. I'm a song and dance man, you know what I'm saying? But my dime dancing is through. Because I've been Steely Dan'd in the Lion's Den. And I have a royal scam. Yeah, well. Anyway. Mickey, where else do I go with you? Oh. What did we do? 91? Madison? Who was I trying to tell that story? Oh my God, I found a book on that trip. Some gospel music Jesus book. I read the fucking thing. I go, this fucking thing's the whole fucking thing. I'm like, what the fuck? This is already out. This has been out. Look at it. It's fucking incredible. I was like, what? Oh my God. I gotta do something about this fucking shit, bro. So here I am. I'm gonna call down thunder on the skies of the wisdoms of the truth of the four winds. Dr. Francis Miles, I might as well be, he's my brother, the son of God. He came through the witch doctory of the witchcraft to reveal to me, the sailor, because Jerry was the soldier. The spiral lights of Venus. Well, you know what spiral lights are? You're trying to go straight to the light, and it's too much. So you spiral up to the light because it's too heavy to go straight to the light, it feels like. But the spiral lights of Venus, do you know what Venus is? It's the morning star. And the morning star, the evening and morning star. And, you know, I had that 7 fucking moons, or, you know, the planets, they planeted it, the planets, whatever. You know, they're all up in the sky last year, and I'm fucking going, oh yeah, so the time of man is at hand. So the greatest story you ever heard, you had Abraham. Abraham broke out of his religion. Just get the hell out of your father's house, man. If you're a Catholic boy, you grew up a Catholic boy like Jerry did, and I did, and you see through the veils of tears and the joy of tears inside that sound garden of him going, you know, never held the same once they took the Latin Mass out. You know, I can't imagine going to church every Sunday and just hearing this fucking language I didn't hear. It's just like, woo, you know, the whole fucking Gregorian chant like shit all over your head. And then they transform it to English, and then he's like, it just didn't have the same, it just, later. I don't get it. Yeah, it didn't hit him. But the soldier that he was, anyway, this sailor came in halfway through the trip. (1878). And if you did any study on the Grateful Dead, you'd know I'm not lying. I am lying. Lion, Gray. I want to say a joke. I took that name to protect the guilty. But what I really want to do is just shed light on the love of Lion on the Line. lying, you know, like on the word. So, Fun and Games 91. We have the Skywalker epic in the mind's eye of my skull. And I'm Luke Skywalkering through this Jedi Knight world, looking for other Jedi Knights who see the Battlestar Galactica tightening up its fucking hold on the entire Earth with the Battlestar, you know, all getting lined up to fucking zap the fucking us, you know? And I'm tripping fucking balls. Not really, but yeah, because I want to know. Like, where's the band? We're at the Hilton. How was I crashing? I drove what was that? Was that the time I drove the bus? The fucking truck? The old U-Haul truck out west. How many trips were there? Quite a few ships lost on the rocks, and I had to styrofoam my way back to some kind of shore. But the sure thing is that what a ride. Oh, so Bill, that night I came in and you were just flashing like you were still playing drums, your eyes. Because well, this is what happened. I'm like, where is the band? I go, it's on the 3rd floor, I heard. It's like, I'm gonna go find them. It's after the show. It's a couple of hours after the show. And I go up to the 3rd floor, and it's like a Franz Kafka kind of hallway and doorway. There's 3 buildings connected. There's at least 300 doors. I don't know how many doors there were. And I'm like, close your eyes. You know, where Luke is like gonna close his eyes and fucking shoot through the Rubicon, as Dylan would call it. So I walk down the hallway, and I walk up, and I walk down to the 1st building, and I walk through the 2nd building, and somewhere I said, this is the door. I knew this was the door. And I knocked on the door. And I heard the guy inside tell me, and it was Jerry, go next door. So I go to the next door, and I knock on the door. I have no idea what's going on. Bob Weir opens the door and welcomes me. And there's Phil and you, Bill. And the crux of the matter of that, in that time, flew. What was it? The song that Bobby played, 2001 Space Odyssey, that the doctors just played for me, of Soul, the other day, last week. Trey. They played the Fishers, the Fish. The Fish played 2001 Space Odyssey last week, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I was already in a state of ecstasy just from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. I was just riding on their fucking wings, you know? It was just fucking gorgeous. Because, you know, my altar is dancing to the music. That's been my altar, to dance in my heart spirit and become a lucid dreamer. So, but that, so 2001 Space Odyssey, so then, because I was already on the Kubrick ride of The Shining, being the kid with The Shining and not knowing if I don't fucking unleash this, I'm gonna turn into Jack Nicholson on the bad side. If I release it, I can be a shining kid amongst the legendary modern day psalmists, which is the greatest story ever told because of Robert Hunter and Jerry and Weir and Barlow and Peterson and all fucking the people, all the poets and laureates that they loved to teach me to love, you know, and to love the future, the now. I am absolutely, I'm surprised. Constantly surprised by the power of the love and a smile and generous, spirited humans that have fire and want to give the kids the forward thinking to know that it's anchored in a faith in the music will set you free. It depends how you look, what music you want to be freed by. If you really, you know, it all starts with the Saint Stephen. In and out of the garden he goes. You know, and wherever he goes, everyone complains, you know, and but what the hell, the guy's got to do what he's got to do, you know what I'm saying? So when you can do your, you know, everyone knows if they had any studied mindscapes of the ley lines that were laid inside the storyline of the first bibliomancy. See, I was looking for guidance in the spirit world as a kid, and then I got wind on that fateful day when my buddy made me sit down for 4 or 5 hours and read everything I could about the Grateful Dead that he had on hand, that he'd been digesting for months on end. And I read it in a day and studied everything and looked at a quick glance and took picture shots of the whole thing. And what the hell is this about, you know? I'm finding all these Bible songs in it, you know? But I'm like, the first thing I did after that day was I heard the songs. Like, I'm like, Samson and Delilah, what the hell, Promised Land? What are these? What the hell are they talking about? Wake up on a jet to the Promised Land. What the hell? The Promised Land. That's it. That's the entire earth. It was promised to us. But of course, there will be those who want the control grid. They want to feel comfortable. But the mystery of the sun and the moon and the wind. The wind is the mystery. The third heaven discussion. The second heaven is your sixth sense. And then there's a seventh sense. For those that know the seventh sense, once you work the sixth sense, well, numerology. Let's get back to the 666. Woe to those who proclaim. Do you know what the word 666 sounds like?